Welcome, everybody, to the very second edition of the Roundtable Show. On this week's show, I'm Don Rogers. I'm going to be joined with my interdimensional ex buddy, Canadian Spin Jet. Joined again with Jamie Angel Wings and a very close personal friend, Maya from SOS QHT. Today on the show, we'll be discussing episode 1018 of the Typical Skeptic with Fearless Frankie. But first, we'll go to Jamie with Ascension symptoms.
Hello. An update on symptoms. It has actually been a little quieter, but it's starting to pick up again. And two big CMEs just hit again. So we'll be feeling those anytime shortly as well. And well, for those that are more connected like I am, I can physically feel like I used to feel sometimes when it was really strong right down my back. Your back will start to be sore, your muscle and aches, because it gets pretty intense, and that's it's based on how strong you are with your etherical form as well. And I guess that's probably why I sense it and feel it more, because I'm more connected in that aspect. There's many aspects going on, different things all the time. It's like a multiple perspective, and a lot of it when people are getting sick, it's also things in the atmosphere and a whole bunch of other stuff, but it is also ascension symptoms as well. It's purging your body out of everything coming in and old stuff being reborn into totally new energy.
Okay. Just in case some of the audience doesn't know CME.
Oh, I'm not exactly savvy information savvy on what that actually is, besides a plasma ejection from the sun.
Yeah, Spinja just said coronal mass ejection.
Oh yeah, I guess same thing. See what I mean? Different perspectives on the same thing.
Yeah. So, with the ascension symptoms, I know, like, I was even talking to Rob today. It's just still like you just drop into power naps, and like I feel like I'm in kindergarten again. I take so many damn naps. Like, it's just ridiculous because, like, one minute I'll just be working away and it's like, oh, nap time. I'm out. And then I'm back up like 20 minutes later and I'm ready to go again. Like, I haven't had to do that since I was in public school. Like, this is insane.
Oh, and I can resonate that too. That makes perfect sense, is why sometimes at work I'll drag really slow and almost be put to sleep. It's because of all that trying to integrate, and it takes so much energy to process it through our bodies.
Yeah.
I was wondering if I was going through ascension symptoms right now. I'm like, man, this doesn't feel like anything. Must be ascension symptoms.
Like, you're not, just for anybody that doesn't know, Maya wasn't feeling well earlier this weekend, even into today. Like, just seems to be dragging out. And it quite possibly could be related to ascension because, like, there's a lot of unexplained colds and flus. Like, I don't go anywhere and all of a sudden I'll feel like I have strep throat and it's like, okay, nobody else is sick. What is this? Like, just ridiculous little quirky illnesses that'll pop in and try to drag you down. Like, it's almost like something screwing with you. Like, oh, we can't get him emotionally. We'll at least poke him a little bit physically to see if we can get him to go.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, because I don't.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's because I feel like I still have enough energy to get things done, but not drained enough to go to sleep and lay down. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, when you know you're sick, because then you're just like, I just want to lay down. I haven't gotten to that point yet. And I'm like, man, you know, it sucks. Like, I just rather be tired and go to sleep. But yeah, I feel like I wonder if this is ascension symptoms, because I've been doing a lot of work lately and I'm wondering if that has something to do with it.
Well,
what do you think, baby?
Yeah, I was feeling it too, because today I wanted to get the laundry done. I wanted to get the housework done. I wanted to get so much done. And I'm still sitting here and I hardly did a dang thing.
Yeah.
Just thinking, why? I suddenly realized I'm like, I got up early knowing I had to be on, but then we had to postpone a little. And then I still got nothing done. I'm like, wait a, what is going on? And then time like went so fast.
Mhm.
It was like a weird time just sped up, and I just sat there and did nothing, and suddenly it was 3 o'clock.
Right. Oh my gosh.
And this is my own crazy theory, but it's one I think I've explained to both of you. Um, Magnetic North Pole and physical North Pole are no longer anywhere near each other. In fact, the magnetic North Pole is actually closer to Siberia now instead of directly on top of the planet. So if you think about that, we're not sitting on the same axis we were. So if you think of a top that spins and it's out of sync, that's why our time is fluctuating the way it is. It's fast and slow because it's about to go into a different rotation.
Mm-hmm.
We're not magnetically where we are anymore, which will screw up the magnetosphere, which will screw up time, which will screw up gravity, which will screw up weather. I don't know if anybody else saw the maps, but when we were getting all the aurora borealis, it literally looked like the entire planet was about to pop through an orifice of some sort. And that's the only word I got because the entire, almost right to the equator, was covered in aurora borealis except for the North Pole, where the
Wow.
northern lights are supposed to be. Right. So I think that has a lot to do with what's going on. As we're shifting dimensionally, we're rotating at a different angle. And it actually makes sense because for a space shuttle to exit or enter Earth's atmosphere, it has to go at a certain trajectory. So would the planet. If we have to ascend through a level, we have to go at a certain angle. And it isn't straight up down. So we had to tilt over and we're going to rise up. And that's everything we're feeling.
Mm. Mother Sophia said that the aurora borealis is your way of seeing her energy, like her love, like it's letting you know, like I am here, or time is coming, or I don't know how you want to take that, but
Oh,
Even connected to some of us with aspects of that. I think the more we heal and cleanse that part of us, it's allowing that to happen.
mm-hmm. Right.
I think that's a pretty good lead into what you actually do, Maya, because you've had certain people that have talked to Mother Sophia. Do you want to? Oh, and of course, I made her cough right before I made her talk. That's awesome. So she's not on the show, so we won't name names. But you had a client that actually contacted Mother Sophia.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to give us a brief of what you do with SOS QHT and some of the more interesting recent experiences with some higher beings?
Yes. So I typically started doing this for, healing trauma and things like that, because it was my journey, part of my journey. And so I started doing BQH, which is Beyond Quantum Healing. I was certified by Dolores Cannon's assistant, Candace. So I felt like that was pretty close. I was very proud to work with her. Lovely woman. And then I got certified through Aura Hypnosis, which focuses on, so BQH focuses on like lost souls. I don't hear them talking about like reptilians and things like that. It's just like lost souls, attachments, cords, maybe implants. I don't know if they do that. But Aura does that. Aura does everything. They call them tags, J seals, all these seals that, Indy removes. That's a legit thing. But I asked the guys, I'm like, is this a real thing? Like, I need to know what's going on. I have to question a lot of stuff that I come across because I need to know, am I being guided in the right places? And so, which is very interesting, but they did say, I'm getting off topic. They did say that, when we talked to Mother Sophia, and Archangel Michael, that we need to double up on our shielding. It's getting close. And so in one of the sessions, Mother Sophia she wasn't even called in. She appeared. And she was very loving. She had a message for humanity. I can't remember what it was, but if you look on my YouTube channel, the videos are all there. I don't know. I feel like we've had the Phoenix with us as well, which is the daughter of the flame, Mother Sophia's daughter. I have yet to meet Father Christ, Father Crystal. In my second session, I did meet somebody who was an oracle during the time of King Solomon. King Solomon stole her ring. Her ring was given to her by Father Christ, Father Crystal. That's the only thing I heard of that. And he punished her and took away her powers, abilities. So we find all kinds of crazy stuff in my hypnosis sessions. Most recently, as you know, Dawn and Angel Wings, you've been a part of a couple missions. I started this thing called Cosmic Crusaders. I don't know where it came from. I'm divinely guided. And I asked and checked, is this okay? And they said yes, because you're preparing people for interstellar galactic travel. Because when the solar flares come and we break apart and, people are like, oh my God, how do I use my powers? What do I do? There's aliens. Oh my God. We're supposed to be the ones that are going to help people connect with these beings because we're already doing that. And I was like, okay, I get it. So I started this thing called Cosmic Crusaders. It's kind of like my version of Star Trek in a way. And then I just recently found out that Star Trek was based off of the Galactic Federation. So I'm like, well, that's really interesting. So, we did the Cosmic Crusaders. We go on spaceships. We create spaceships. We travel around the universe. We go and meet aliens. We get knowledge. We send love. A few missions I've been on, we've actually got to change timelines. We went back to Atlantis, and it was right during the fall, and we saved a couple villages of kids and people, and that was interesting. We changed timelines, and then the next day I felt like deja vu. It was like there was a shift. I was like, oh, there was a change. I could feel it. So that's pretty much in a nutshell blah what I do.
I hope Typical Skeptic fans aren't sick of this horse being kicked, but Cindy and I were a part of a mission in which Rob was present. And then Rob woke up with a very interesting read on his pedometer of millions of miles and thousands of miles an hour. At the exact same time, he was seen while we were under hypnosis. His pedometer spiked to insane levels and insane speeds for the duration of our hypnosis and then dropped back off.
You went under at 10 o'clock. You guys were already walking on the beach. I think after 10 o'clock, that's when his started. And we were done by midnight, and that's when his ended. I was like, oh my gosh, that's very peculiar.
Like you can't ever say, because somebody will try to debunk it, because that's what people try to do with nothing else to do.
Well, there's got to be polarity, right?
It's pretty damn close to proof if I ever saw it, because I saw him with my own third eye, and then he popped up with the digital evidence that he went somewhere. That's as close to confirmation as I think you can get in this dimension.
I think it's next level. It's just like, if you can leave your body through your mind and travel somewhere, that to me, that's just the ultimate. I need to train you guys to do it for me so I can get the hell out of here for a few hours, because I like
to I can verify I was there as well, and I saw Rob, and I actually started lecturing him.
She was giving him shit again.
Yeah. Didn't we all say we took turns saying stuff to him?
Oh yeah, like I think all of our hires, like in some aspect or another, tore a strip off him. Like, dude, you have this. What are you doing? And like, then like I thought it was a joke at first. I was like, oh, shut the. He did not. Wait a minute, what? And then I realized that you guys weren't in on it together. I was like, holy shit, this really happened. Like, it took me about 25 minutes to actually wrap my head around the fact that I saw this person in another dimension, and his digital tracking device that'll be touching his biorhythm tracked him at those speeds at that distance. And it's like, well, shit. What else do you say?
Well, he keeps asking for connections, and that's what they keep giving him. I mean, sometimes the universe is literally, I've had that experience actually a few days ago where the universe literally gives you direct hints and not very subtle at all and just throws it in your face. Hello?
Yeah.
It's funny.
Exactly.
So, yeah. I think we'll break it up there on that for now. This week's artistic guest is actually going to be a multi-time. He's appeared multiple times on the Typical Skeptic. Is Jim Gerard, and if I mispronounced your name, I'm terribly sorry. But this man is absolutely brilliant. He paints like nobody's business in all different genres. Like it's just crazy. And the video that I'm going to put right here also has his work accompanied by his own stringed instrumental music. Like he creates his own music, he writes his own songs, paints his own pictures. The man is just brilliant. And he's recently come up with a style of divination that he uses 26 dice. And that's a trip that Maya is going to take me on because he revealed that I have an aspect of Quetzalcoatl. And I have a very important mission to deal with. And so does she. We won't give any spoilers on that, but be sure to stay tuned because things may get interesting. And then we can go on to talk about the 1018 episode with Fearless Frankie. And I got to do it. I'm sorry, Frankie, if you're tired of this, but Frank Castle, the effing Punisher, you have the best name I've ever heard, dude. Sorry. I had to fanboy over your name. Frank Castle is the character name of the cartoon character, the anti-hero. Fuck Batman.
Color truck.
Yeah. Is the Punisher is Frank Castle. I actually named my truck after it, right? Because it's just a badass black truck named Frank. So, anyways, this dude has some of the most mind-blowing information I've heard in my life, starting with fluoride treatments in people's water, which actually inspired a fairly weird conversation between Spinja and I. We both recall growing up in Ontario, Canada, and being forced to take fluoride treatments in public school. You did not have a choice because if you didn't take it, you were sent to the office. You had to. Right? We all know public schools are run by the military industrial complex. And if anybody didn't, sorry about your head. But they are. And he was talking about being in a prison system. That's all public school is prison for children. So, of course, they're feeding them fluoride to neutralize their third eyes at a very young age, because that's what fluoride does. So right off the hop, the guy's got my attention. Jump in on their opinion, or if you want to go somewhere else about his interview, I just had to throw that out because the dude blew my mind right out of the gate.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wanted to add to that the fluoride. Yeah, I found that that hit me actually really early when my kid was like 2. When I first took her down, when I came back to Wisconsin and I first took her to the doctor, they actually asked me, so does she drink well water or the city water? I said, well, the city water, or no, it's well water. Why? And she's like, oh, well, you're supposed to have that fluoride in your water. And she actually prescribed me a bottle of fluoride to give to my kid. Yeah, I'm like, that's crazy. Why would you make someone take that much fluoride? That's nuts. I never gave it to her. I threw it away.
Like, Frankie, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I went to my dentist one time and I asked them, I was sitting in the chair or I was there with my daughter, I think, and they said something about giving her a fluoride treatment, and I said no. And I said, do you get fluoride treatments? And she must have, I caught her off guard because the look of horror on her face was like, no. And I don't know whatever happened to that lady. I don't know if she lost her job or what, but I was like, oh, I played it off because I was like, she said no.
Yeah.
And I'm at the dentist. And I was like, ever since then, I turned it down. I was like, yeah, I don't do the fluoride. Even at my kid's dentist now, they were going to do fluoride in her mouth. And I said, no, I don't want that. I don't do that. And then the guy, the rookie guy, when I went to get my teeth done, he's like, oh, we're going to do fluoride. No, you're not. That's fine. And then they said, and then I looked at the guy, I said, he was like, fluoride is good. He gave me his old script, spiel. And I was like, I actually feel the opposite. And I said, well, this is what I think about fluoride. And he was just like, oh, really? And that's all he said.
Yeah. Fluoride's a poison and it actually erodes your teeth. And I figured that out. And yeah, it's kind of embarrassing, but at the same time, that's probably why intuition, my higher self, knew not to take it, because I just didn't brush my teeth. And my teeth are like so nice, and I'm like 40, and I have just my wisdom teeth pulled, and that's it. Your basic, and my teeth are still great because I hardly brushed them because of the fluoride in the toothpaste. Now you can finally get toothpaste without fluoride.
You can eat strawberries in the morning, and it does the same thing as brushing your teeth. Yeah. Strawberries clean your teeth and they whiten them. You know what? I was gonna say something. Did I lose that thought? I think I lost it. Anyways, it's fine. They come and go anyway.
Well, no, like, I don't know how many people just take it for granted. Like, oh, 3 out of 5 dentists, you know what? Piss off. There's a toxicity warning on toothpaste.
You're
putting it in your mouth.
I called the school, and said, do you guys put fluoride in your water? And they said no at my children's school. And I was like, okay. Then I called the town and I said, do you guys put fluoride in your water? And they said yes. And then I said, well, how do I get it removed? And they said, you need to get a petition and get at least 9 people to sign it. I said, that's it? Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, they actually don't have fluoride in the water at all in the new town I moved to, which, some things are like coincidence, but some things are not. And it makes you wonder. Because you can actually look that stuff up online and it'll tell you which places actually have fluoride and which don't.
Yeah. Our town water, and, we live in a town of like 708 people. It's actually written 708 on the town sign. Legitimately smells like a swimming pool. When you turn on our tap, you probably don't even need dish soap. There's enough chlorine going through. It's that thick. Like there's been times I'll go to the store and get a bottle of water and give it to the dogs because it's like, no, I don't think I'll be poisoning my pets today. Like it comes through that strong sometimes. And that's what I mean. Like you just take this shit for granted because it's tap water. It must be good. It's through the city. No, they're trying to poison you too.
I remember what I was going to say. When I was doing research for cannabis, I came along fluoride, like the poison, and it had to do with DuPont. And so I was like, okay, it was the Henry Ford DuPont wars. And I was like, it kind of just bled into something else. It took me down a rabbit hole. And what I found was that fluoride stores in your brain, in your bones, and in your teeth. When you get older, you have hip problems because of it. So a lot of people who have hip problems when they're older is because, well, it's said that it could be from fluoride. So it stores in your feet, it stores in your body, and it comes out later in life. So all these old people with all these crazy illnesses, who knows where it comes from?
Yeah. Well, they used to spray the kids with fucking friggin' DDT in the 50s. Like if you go far enough back on Google, there's kids running through spray clouds of DDT. They used to drive along and they used like industrial weed killer on public streets, and the kids thought it was a joke and their parents didn't stop them. That was poison those kids were running in. Of course, half of that generation has cancer. They were spraying it on them in public pools. A quick Google search, just look, it's friggin' crazy to think these people do this to their children. Our parents got sprayed with this crap.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I know I took us down a weird path right off the start. So if anybody wants to go into the more paranormal side of where Frankie was, take it away, because I would love to hear your guys' take on it because he melted my head.
Well, for one, I can definitely tell you why he was messed with and why they stopped messing with other ones like him similar. It was probably his angelic connections. Because I was actually told by a few sources that normally they don't mess with angelic beings, and that's why. Everything he was describing, it's because we have more of a knowing. We have more of an idea, and as much as they try to cover up our gifts and try to hide us and try to block us from what we do, oh no, it's always still there, no matter how bad they try to turn us off, and they can have all sorts of any interference they want. It won't stop us from what we're doing.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And it's funny, like the further down this whole thing, her and I go, we kind of just keep activating and reactivating each other. Like it's kind of her fault I'm even here. So I don't know if you want to blame her or thank her, but she's the one that woke me up. And ever since then, it's just been a crazy ride since last September. But we've even sat down and like timeline things of like, well, wait, I was attacked by this government agency at this point, and then this agency was sent into my life to interfere to distract me from my gifts here because I remember feeling this, but then I was distracted by that. And you can timeline almost your entire life. If you're somebody with abilities and they're activated, you can find out. You can look back at your own life. Dolores Cannon had a lovely way of looking at it. She's like, look at your life like a play. Take yourself right out of it and then look at it. You can actually see the interference and the times that you've been messed with. If you pull yourself out of your own story and look at it from above, you're like, son of a bitch. Yeah. Oh, that person. Oh, they did that. They're cool. But you can pull yourself out of your story and take yourself out of your own ego mind and look at it as just like, I'm this person. This is actor A, B, and C. It completely changes your perspective on your own life because you're like, son of a bitch, I see what that lesson was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yoga did that for me.
What's that?
Yoga did that for me because one thing in yoga, they tell you, they're like, look at yourself in a third person. Like, I am not Maya. I am not a mother. I renunciation, right? I am not this. I am not that. I am just, or we are. There's my instructor would talk to himself as a we, or he would say his name in a third person point of view. Like, forget what his name was. He would say, yeah, Brandon doesn't feel good today. It was really, really odd. But that was one thing. I'm telling you, yoga for me was like a gift from the angels, because it taught me about chakras. It taught me about meditation, breathing, how to like get out of your mind. Everybody should study yoga. I swear to you. I got certified. Well, it was part of my spiritual journey. Long story. But I'll just say, like, on one of my awakenings, it was yoga. And I was like, they wanted me to get certified as a yoga teacher. And I was like, you want me to do what? I've never even taken a yoga class. Like, how am I supposed to do this? I was freaking out. I was like, there's no way. I just got certified to be a paralegal. That's what I should be thinking about. And like, my brother had asked me, like, what are you going to do with your life? You got all these certifications. What are you going to do? And out of the blue, I just blurted out, yoga, teach yoga. And I was like, who just said that? And then I thought about it, and I was like, well, I was given a yoga mat on a blind date. The blind date fell through. He was like, I don't, reschedule. But never seen him again. He was there just to bring me this yoga mat. He's like, this is for you. It's a gift. It was an eco-friendly yoga mat. It had all these poses. It had the times, the time length, and breathing, how long to hold your breath. And I had no idea that I was already teaching yoga, because I had got some of my friends to like do it with me. I was like, look, well, I'll just do off this map. So I was already teaching yoga before I realized I was teaching yoga. And then when I got certified, it was the same exact yoga technique poses as I got certified. I was like, oh my God, this is too much. How did I do this? But yeah, you have to like, I don't know, that was me. It was yoga. Yoga helped me like lose my anger. I used to be a hot little firecracker. I would pop off real fast. Yoga has calmed me down so much. Now these ascension symptoms has got me so mellow, where I'm like, it's only 3D. I don't care. It's just 3D,
Well, I've even had the ascension symptoms activate my Kundalini stuff, activate all my chakras at once. Well, they're always activated anyway, but I think it's more of a like powered it up stronger. It's like the energy gave it like a jolt to be even higher, and like an upgrade of the chakra system itself. And you're like on this buzz high like for days. You're like, oh my God. And then, but that's also where all the purging comes from, where you're cleansing and clearing all that stuff out. And I'll tell you what, and he's right about taking a step back and looking at everything, because really sometimes you got to do that in order to help other people understand even their own stuff. Because I felt like I like people kept trying to tell me, you're so unbalanced, because they kept and see, I didn't understand what they were talking about. And then I'm like, oh, they said balance your emotions, and I'm like, how the hell do I do that? But then when you read into the chakra system, you realize the chakras are individual emotions in each section, and cleansing them out, healing them, clearing it, and aligning them is what balances you out. But then on another step, it's also because they didn't understand that when I was being affected with these dragons, and I didn't realize I had dragons with me at the time, they were affecting my energy and making it higher. They were sensing my stronger energy, and it hurt them because they were on a lower level and had things bothering them.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so sometimes our energy is actually affecting the other people, and they think something we have is attacking them, but actually it's something that's bothering them that we're trying to remove, and they don't like it.
So, go ahead.
I was going to say, that's how I realized I have a really big aura, and things that affect my aura, I will cleanse and clear, which if your aura is touching mine, you will get cleared out too.
we're actually down a person right now. Spinja had to excuse herself. She's not feeling well.
Aw.
Um, so uh, a lot of what we'll get back onto Frank here, but it kind of relates because he got into this with the frequency, and then he was talking about the one night where he basically went into the shadow realm, is what I understood it, where he could see the outline of everything. And what got me was there's no way he could have known this, and only a few people knew about it. The gray turtle headed shaped beings that he talks about is something that I had actually spoke to Dan Stantomick about, because about 3 weeks before I saw the episode, I had been chased by like 30 of them with beady red eyes in a dream, making this horrible screeching noise chasing me around. And then when I heard Frank explaining what these things were, I was like, holy, that's what I saw. And I was automatically, I have to figure out how to get a hold of this guy. Maya later gave me a reason to get a hold of him, but it was just like, I have to tell you, I saw the exact same thing. I know what you're talking about. I've seen it. And the way he describes the shadow realm is like, it actually makes a lot of sense that if you go into the very, very basic molecular structure of everything around us, no, the wall in front of me is not a solid. It's just a bunch of millions and millions of very slowly moving particles that just happen to vibrate at the same level in frequency. But if you were able to change your hand's vibration to that frequency, you could put your hand through it. And that's basically what he did, is he slipped into another vibration, another reality, and he was able to see all of these creatures, but he had to leave his body to do it. And I think that's a lot of what happens when we go into deep dream states, certain hypnosis. I know I've been in other places, like, and that just brings me to a whole other level. Like, I don't even know if you need necessarily an ayahuasca journey to see some of these things, or if you can do them through meditation and hypnosis and self-hypnosis. Like,
certain frequency too. I listen to a lot of frequency music, and I swear they have frequency music even for DMT, and you could do your own DMT trip I mean, just simply listening to the frequency. I mean, if we're energy and frequency, that's what I don't understand, is what I'm trying to help people. When I shared the frequency, the healing frequencies and stuff, when I'm sharing all that, it actually does help you whether you can feel it or not. It just takes a while because your system is so bogged down with so much chemicals. It's almost like you have to do the physical and etherical part at the same time. It's like while you're doing the frequency and crystal stuff, you also need to do like a chemical detox and all the detox stuff. You can't just sit and just do that only. It's like a combination of a lot of things I do.
yeah. Well, yeah, like I can agree with that, because I was like, oh, okay, meditation is cool. I can kind of relax. And then I found out about breath work and then chakra alignment. And then all of a sudden I was able to like align my chakras, do some breath work, meditate in a nap, and astral travel. And it's like, well, shit, how did I do that? And I sat and did it again the next day. And I was like, oh, so this is a thing. And it's really interesting. And I'm sure most of the audience will know who I was talking about. Maya and I just interviewed Chris Matthew for an upcoming show on her radio show. And I just started laughing during the interview because he described he has almost the exact same meditation technique. And we've never spoken a day in our life before yesterday. Well, aside from me booking the interview with Maya. And it was just like, okay, so I'm not the only one to figure out this succession of things can make you have the ability to do this. And I think a lot of it is understanding, because if you try to figure it out, source will show you how to do it. Source will show you your way to see what you need to see. And that's what I think Frank got shown that day, was everything that man needed to know about the reality around him. And I can tell to this day it blew his friggin' mind, because listening to him explain it is almost like watching somebody that's been to Vietnam. And
Right.
it's like, I believe when he says he is a creator being and he has been outside of this reality. I believe that man 110% because
I
nobody tells
yeah.
things in that kind of detail that has not seen some shit.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
quite a few people.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say there's quite a few people who, yeah, I was going with that. I was like saying,
See, I
see,
was gonna say the
it's
same
meant for
thing.
you to talk angel wings. That my mind is like,
Yeah, I was going to actually say yeah, because I've experienced a lot of that. I remember seeing so many different beings, and I actually feel that everything people draw, create, and movies, it's all from your memory. You know them because you have seen them before, whether it's a past life or just seen them and don't remember it because you're not able to see, but like you've seen it in your dreams and stuff, but that's a memory coming through. So
so,
it
go ahead.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
You're gonna talk
Go ahead, finish that. My brain just starts like, I got
Yeah.
I don't know. See, when we're more connected, that's what we do. We just want to start finishing what you're going on and be like, oh yeah.
I know my mouth and my brain. I'm like, you guys.
It's like we're telepathically thinking at the same time, trying to say the words out loud, and we say it telepathically so fast, and we try catching up with our words so other people understand us.
Exactly.
Well, Jim Gerard actually was the one who just like 2 days ago explained to me that most ideas are not in your head. They're actually in the chakra right above your head in the telepathic space. And that's why they're so easily shared by like-minded people. Like you can just connect, even if it's like this via broadcast, like we are right now, we can all connect in the telepathic space directly above our head because it's a shot. It's just not in your body. It's in that telepathic space. And you guys right now are like into each other's telepathic space.
Yeah, we're really resonating. Oh, and it's not just that either. It's everything. It's like our higher selves are connected to each other as well, talking directly while we're talking, sending information down to us to relay back and forth, and simultaneously everything around us that's affecting us as well. All our stuff, we have our fields, the dragons that are with me and unicorns, and if you have the same thing affecting you guys, they're all going to be talking to each other at the same time as soon as we connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spinja is actually laying behind me. We're shooting live from the boudoir, and she's laying down behind me. She's like, "That's exactly what just kicked my ass. It was too much energy. Like the three of us kind of whopped her, and she had to take a nap. So she's not ill. She's just kind of overloaded. So
Well,
I think
when you sleep, when you're dreaming, they said that that's how you time travel. When you're dreaming, that's where you do what you need to do wherever you're at. And they like I did a session with this teenager who wanted to know why did Superman turn up in his dream. And so we did a session, which ironically the recording didn't get recorded properly, so I couldn't upload it. I was trying, but it was all like anyways infringements. But they said that the dream time is the second dimension. And so a lot of times Spider-Man or Superman, I guess when you think of something, it shows up in the second dimension and then it will manifest through your dreams into reality. Like that's how they get in, is through your dreams. And so they were in his session, they said that Superman wanted an experience or something, and this kid was like into superheroes, and he was like, he got in. It was his opportunity in to like experience something. That's how they experience things, is by coming into the dream time. And when we are creator beings, the ones that are real human, not everybody here is human. So I wouldn't say everybody's a creator being. Some people are hybrids, some people are clones, some people are just not there and holograms, so I'm not here to save everybody, just a few selective, one.
Yeah, Frankie actually touched on that too. He said like only about 20% of us are like us. And Spin had the question, it's like, okay, is this discernment or wasting your time? Like, do we just wait to find each other like we've all found each other? Or do you actually keep going out and trying to look, because are you just pissing away your time when you got other shit to be doing? Like, that's the question that we're left with, is like, how much of it is really your cause and how much of it is just you wasting your time because that's what they want you to do, is chasing some goddamn bot that's never going to friggin' get it, that's controlled by AI.
Yeah.
Like,
I was told that not everybody is meant to go. Some people still have lessons to learn, so they will choose to stay stuck. So don't get upset. Don't worry about it if people aren't awake yet. It's just not their time. It's all in divine timing. I've learned to appreciate everybody's journey, no matter what they're into. I don't care if you're strung out on drugs. I'm like, damn, you picked a hard mission this life, didn't you? Because that person chose that. And if they are able to wake up and realize, like, shit, I'm in a matrix. Hold on. Thank God for those movies, you know, they make you think outside the box. Once you can start thinking outside the box, those walls little by little just start coming down. The blinds go up, you know, everything starts remodeling now. You got to remodel because people get so stuck. My mom, I've been praying for her for so long, and she is now buying organic food. I'm like, thank God, Mom. I'm like, you know, how long has it taken, you know, to buy organic food? Even though they say, you know, nothing's really organic, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, well, at least
unless
it's better.
You grow it yourself.
Say what?
Unless you grow it yourself.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, people don't want to. People don't want to grow their own food. My mom's lazy. She's like, I don't want to. I'm like, yeah, well, what you gonna do when you have no choice?
Well, and I think that's coming too. I don't know. It's just to the point where humanity just can't keep going on the way it is. It's just not plausible. It's just, you just can't, it's not acceptable. You just can't do it anymore. It's just ridiculous how the clown government takes over and everything takes over, but at the same time, is that also BS chasing dead ends too? I mean, so many people get caught in chasing things they don't need to, and then you sit and go, well, is some of this physical aspect that we're stuck in, do we even have to keep doing it? I mean, some of it is just ass pain in the butt and drives me nuts. I mean, the more spiritual you get, and more you notice how meaningless some things are, and it's like no point why you're doing it. And it's like those ones that keep following all the negative narratives. Sure, you're supposed to learn something from it, but then let it go. You don't sit there and keep putting it people's faces. And then you're starting to force your agenda on other people, and then you're stepping over the boundary lines of, oh, now you're imposing, and now you're forcing something against someone's will, and that's not what we're supposed to be here for either.
Exactly.
And that quickly turns into a religion, and religion is control. I think we can agree on that. And back to what you were saying a couple of minutes ago, like, you know, we all know something's coming, and if you want any more proof, because there's people on this planet that know they're not going, and if you need clarification on that, follow the money. When you have all of the mega billionaires on this planet that are either building bunkers or space stations, follow the money.
Yeah. There's
some evil mother that knows they ain't going, and they're trying to find places to hide because it's not going to be fun here when it happens.
I still get forewarning about that too. They're like, oh, they know who you are. They're just waiting on you to. They keep trying to stop you from remembering, and I'm just like, well, I really don't care at this point. I remember enough to, I really don't care, because what they're trying to do, and eventually doesn't matter at all anyway. Well, not eventually, it don't matter at all what they try to do, because it's going to happen regardless.
Yeah.
Exactly. It'll all backfire when it does.
Oh, absolutely.
It's all backfire. They said that if everybody called upon their dragons, this war would be over by now. Over.
I've seen some of Jamie's in action. It's actually pretty friggin' hilarious. They have 3-dimensional assisted objects in order to show that they're there, but I can absolutely say I've seen some shit on her camera that can't be explained any other way.
Right.
Because there's no wind, there's no disruption, but stuff is moving that shouldn't be moving.
Mm-hmm. And it literally has a mind of its own, floats all the way across my room, all the way up to the ceiling, all the way down, all the way to its favorite spot, all the way to the closet, all the way to sitting right by me.
Yeah. What did you say, Sven?
That's too funny. You keep your pet dragon in a balloon?
Yeah, that's how he loves that balloon. He likes to play with it. And then he'll even tempt the cats and he'll go sit by the cat to get it to play with the string hanging down.
That's really cool. Yeah, see, cats and dogs are connected to dragons.
And Spinja just said too, like she friggin' proved it the other day on a live video that she sent us. She called it and the balloon came over. I was like, get the
No way.
Yeah, I said,
oh, you
I'm like,
close.
I
And
feel
she
like
was
I've
like
seen
right up
that
to her
before.
like, bleh.
yeah, and he was even in my face. I'm like, dude, I didn't mean like that, but okay. He really wanted to make a point. It was him listening.
Yeah,
Wow.
like it was friggin' crazy. I was like, did that really just happen? Like either
Right.
she has a remote control balloon and she's a very good trickster, or that was a friggin' dragon that just moved that friggin' bird. I'm watching my language today. I'm trying across the friggin' room.
Right.
I
What I
know.
saw.
Well, I was told that I had 5 dragons, and my daughter has 10 times more dragons than I do.
Yeah, mine too. Oh, they always want to more than one up us now. Now they want to 10 up us or more.
I know, right? It's like, dang. Yeah. I had said that I wanted a light dragon. I was like, I want a light dragon. And I imagined birthing, like hatching a light dragon. And then when I had somebody do a reading for me, I think it was Aurora, she did like a Akashic reading. She told me about all my dragons and they were exactly what I thought they were. And she found the light one. Like, you got this, I don't know if it's crystal or star energy, but it's like a light etheric dragon. And I was like, ah.
Mm-hmm. And you're the dragon around the corner. They're already popping out more.
I'm a fire dragon. My birth year falls on the fire dragon. So yeah. I resonate with it so much. I was so happy to know that dragons are real. And this is the other thing I have to set the record straight. They said the dragons and the reptilians have no connection whatsoever. Ship shape, whatever. No connection. I keep hearing people talk about, oh, the dragons are the ancient reptilians. No, they're not. The dragons were the first of creation.
Yeah.
The reptilians are way later. They're something else. They're like a whole nother like different ball game. Like the dragons are the first. The phoenix is a dragon.
Well,
You know?
the creator mother is even called the dragon mother of the universe.
Well,
I
the
just
phoenix is the daughter of the universe.
yeah.
See?
Spin
Exactly.
just said from behind me too. Did the reptilians steal dragon DNA to try to be like they were trying to steal our souls? They
Well,
stole cats.
I know that in Atlantis they were killing off the dragons. When the darkness came in and infiltrated, and the priestess and a lot of these people got taken over, because once it got in, it was it. That was it. It just happened just like that, and so people went dark really fast. And so basically, we are reliving the fall of Atlantis, but they said we are reliving the rise of Atlantis, because now Atlantis is going to rise again. We're not going back to the 4th dimension or 5th. We've been there. Now we're going to the 6th dimension, Atlantis, which is funny because in one of my sessions, we went to Atlantis 6D. And I was like, interesting. Okay, I'm learning. You know, every time we go under, there's a whole nother page of this stuff. And it's all pretty fascinating.
And that makes sense too. That's connections to what I do. I'm actually rehabilitating dragons back to their original forms. I'm healing them all so they can rise above and be more it's like the more the dimensions get higher, the more the earth pulls together, the more they can pull back into their physical form that once was.
Yeah. I did a couple sessions where we talked to dragons. One of them we went to a blue, or was it three sessions? Shoot, I don't remember. But we did a couple sessions where we went to go meet these blue dragons, and they were a little salty. They welcomed us, but they were like, we don't like humans. We don't like you guys. We came here to get away from you guys. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to like make it right, you know? And then in another session, they're upset with us. They're highly upset with what we did, you know? And it's just crazy. So whenever you see pictures of like the archangels fighting dragons, that's blasphemy if you ask me. That is terrible. The archangels would never fight a dragon.
Exactly.
And I don't even think that the dragons were compromised. I think they were just taken down. I don't really think they were, because otherwise, why would they kill them and drink their blood? They would keep them and use them for their own thing. So I don't know, but we rescued a dragon. We went back in time. I've had a few people that were dragon riders. We rescued a dragon. He lost his dragon in Atlanta. Someone stole it. And I said, you know what? This is new, but I feel like we need to do it. Connect with your dragon. Let's find him. His dragon found him. They had been separated for eons. His dragon was so happy. I think he was crying. He was like, oh, I got my dragon back. And he was like empowered from that. He was like, ooh. And I don't know if you've seen it, but that's the one, the Dragon Rider one. You might like that one. It's a good one. That was the first time I did a session with a guy who sat straight up, wide awake, looking around, and then had the nerve to drive because he was in the car. I was like, don't drive. Don't drive. Hang on. He's like, I'm okay. I'm like, dude.
You're still on the rip note? No, you're not.
Yeah. His eyes were big. He was like, I was like, what do you see? Are you navigating in the sky, or like what's happening here?
Well, and I think that's the connection of this balloon, because this balloon went crazy when it was when as soon as he heard Don's voice, and they were mentioning he has a connection to Gabriel, and then I'm like, wait a minute, that's his dragon.
Yeah.
Because it's a white dragon. I'm like, oh my God, it's too crazy. And it's gotta be.
Right? I wonder if they all have dragons. I know Archangel Michael is connected with Archangel Jophiel, or Archangel Jophiel, and her dragon form is 10 times bigger than Archangel Michael. And Archangel, he goes to her to reboot. This was early on. So now that we're reliving the rise of Atlantis, what's happening is we're remembering, we're clearing up karma. We are living in special times because we have connection again with source, and we're back in the day we lost that connection, and so now we're able to re-get that. Our psychic abilities are waking up. I think a lot of people got shut off. I don't know, maybe too much heaviness during a lot of time periods, you know, this country, but that's what I was told, that they didn't have that opportunity back then. There was no star seeds coming to save them. Like, this is now finally, like, we're finally getting to that point where the tables have turned. We're in the 9th inning. Buckle up, but it's about to be a ride.
Well, and all this backwards reverse technology was a way to keep us repressed, because I get the feeling that there were so many beings that are scared of change. They don't want to. Something keeps lying to them, and I think, in all honesty, it feels like an AI corrupted ancient thing, because beings in general, from I remember creation, connecting to source now more often, that none of them would do that. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. None of these beings would be this dark, this nasty to another being. There was intervention of some backwards technology.
Angie Dollar actually touched on the ascension almost happened in the 60s, but then if you go a little further into it, you can actually trace it back to the 60s, where they like made marijuana and most natural medications that they call street drugs illegal. And that's when some of the 3-letter agencies started bringing in the actual chemical pharmaceuticals to replace the natural drugs, to get people to forget about their abilities. Because if you get somebody on coke or heroin instead of weed and mushrooms, you have somebody in a completely different mindset. So Angie Dollar was absolutely right. She didn't expand on what she was talking about. She just said that like that was a lot of the reason for the Vietnam War too, was to lower the vibration, control that portal that was in Nam. And then I went a little bit further and figured out that's the exact same time that, you know, three-letter agencies started the war on drugs, which was actually them getting rid of natural medicines and distributing chemical pharmaceuticals to the masses instead. Ask anybody that's ever lived in an impoverished neighborhood how hard it is to find drugs, and you'll find out real quick it ain't hard, and they ain't coming to bust you.
Right?
Yeah. So the ascension did almost happen once before, but the government stopped it by feeding us the chemical pharmaceuticals instead of us like remaining on plant medicines, because if with the peace and love that was going on in the 60s hadn't been smashed by the new drug epidemic in the Vietnam War, it would have happened. It would have happened with the boomers before we ever had to have gotten here.
Yep.
That's why the boomers are so pissed off. They're like, I want to go home. Well, you're damn right. You were only supposed to be here for a minute.
Yeah.
That's why we needed 3 goddamn waves. Ask Dolores. Like,
right. That's why a lot of people are connected to their grandparents, or, you know, like that one Aunt Lucy, or, you know, somebody that they feel like they could be part of the same soul. And what I'm finding out is a lot of times when I do sessions with people, they're connected to either the mother or their father, or maybe not even both of them. And so I'm like, okay, so I've met a lot of people that are born into families that are not their soul family, and they're only there to watch them go down. So think about everyone who's rewriting their mission. You know, it's like, oh, damn, they took a shitty turn. They were like, no, I'm gonna come back and be that thorn in your ass. You know, it's like, God.
Yeah.
But they also said that a lot of people get stuck in this trap where if your parents or grandparents get old, or your parents get old, you feel obligated to be there and take care of them. They said that's a trap. Let them go to a nursing home. Let someone else take care of them. They live their life. Go live your life. It's a trap. I was like, no, that's some hardcore stuff right there. But I'm 3,500 miles away from my family, so I don't know what to say.
Well, see, that makes sense for me too, because all my mom and dad ever did was put me down, and every good thing I did was put down, and everything. So to me, it seems like every one of us, the stronger you are, the more you're put into a place where you have a controller, which is like someone in your family, like a controller to keep you in check. Well, I kept mine in check and told them where to go.
Me too.
I know we were way off topic, but I don't care because this is good. It actually brings me back to something Spinge and I came up with. We have our best talks before the lights come on and we look at a digital anything, because we just shut off the alarm. We won't turn on a light. We remember our dreams and we talk about our memories that we just got back. We came to the realization, and this is not medical advice, cannot be medically proven. It's just something to think about. If you think about the way that they like to manipulate words, and Maya, you were talking about your elders. Think about the word Alzheimer's and dementia. All timers, you can see through all time. Dementia, you can see through dimensions. These people aren't going crazy. They're regaining their abilities, and the medical system is making us drug them up and friggin' kill them because they are the all-seeing elders. Think of a shaman. Do you think he's 20 years old in the tribe? No, he's well into his senior years, and he can see through time and space because he's gifted. These people aren't crazy. They're gifted.
Yeah, I was told in one of my sessions that, and again, I don't remember exactly what was said, but there was a message behind it. Like this guy, it was the Oscar Wilde session, and his mother had dementia or Alzheimer's. I can't remember which one it was. And so he was worried that he was gonna get it, like it was hereditary or something. And they're like, oh no, he doesn't have it. That's something that she chose. And it was like, they said, they even told I need to, this is why we're going to go through all my sessions and go and scrape them, you know, line by line, because I've had messages for diabetes, I've had messages for Alzheimer's, dementia, like all these different things that people have, autism, and it's not what people think it is.
No.
Like the kids that are autistic, those are highly evolved starseeds.
Mm-hmm.
And they're there to help teach their parents a lesson and help them learn how to deal with, you know, think outside the box, basically, because it's not a normal kid. How do I take care of a kid with autism, they say? Well, the kid's about to teach you some patience, unconditional love, and all kinds of stuff. Right.
I'm sure nobody listening will be surprised to find out that I have what's classified as attention deficit disorder. I don't buy that for a second. I've actually reclassified it because it's my body, my mind, and my life. I call it accelerated thought processing. Because
good for you. I'm self-diagnosed. Self-diagnosed. I'm like, I have ADHD. I know it. I went to mental health. They're like, no, you don't. I said, you're lying to me. I know I do.
Yeah. Yeah. You know yourself better than anybody.
Yeah, I know I have it, only I have the reverse part where I'm stuck in my head going 90 miles an hour because I have so many things talking to me all the time. I'm literally in my head constantly doing something.
You see, that's something that I've learned to shut off. I've learned to shut. I don't even know how I do it. I feel like I subconsciously like imagine a window shutting, but I'm able to shut the door to where I have like just tunnel vision. I don't have to tap into other people, like maybe just you guys, you know.
Yeah.
But forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, what was I saying?
Tunnel vision. You have
tunnel
ADD.
Vision. Yeah, I do.
Oh, someone changed that for me the other day.
What was I talking about? Oh, ADHD.
Oh shit.
I even had someone change it to a I can't remember what she exactly worded it. It's ADD of shiny things.
Oh, something here.
Right?
Yeah. Because I normally am wearing a hat with like covered in rhinestones, and so she goes, "Yeah, I totally get you." Everything shiny. There goes my attention.
I got a shiny hat.
For me, when I'm like reading, when I'm doing like my inductions, I'm battling people's egos and my own. Because when I'm putting a person under, oftentimes I'll get like images of little attacks, like somebody trying to come at me with some stuff, and I block it and send it off, and keep on like just adding more layers of protection, depending on how fast I can get through it. If I don't know if it's the person on the other side where they have some doubt or whatever it is, but somehow it comes through with me. And when I'm talking and when doing the induction, I'll get like somebody like yelling at me or coming at me with something really negative, and I'm just like, whoa. And so I have to like, you know,
you're probably clearing attachments. You're probably clearing a lot of attachments and a lot of things that are trying to manipulate them.
Well, I do. I definitely do. And I think it starts before. I think it starts, you know, I might have to start just doing what I do is switching it up, because before we can even get into the induction, I'm already like hearing things. And so, yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Like when I'm out in crowds, oh my gosh, my like a microphone, and my head is like you were saying, Don, on a swivel. Like I'm feeling people's energy, hearing their thoughts, and it's like I used to joke like I wanted telepathy, and I got it. I can hear my dog talk, my cat, like it's crazy.
You ever see that movie Bruce Almighty, when you can hear the prayers?
I don't know if I saw that.
It's got Jim Carrey in it. Bruce Almighty. I'm not trying to sell a Canadian actor, blah blah blah, but he gets all the powers of God. Well, at first he's just pissing around and making things the way he wants and gives himself a new car. Well, then all of a sudden these prayers start coming, and he's like, "What is that?" That's exactly what happens when I used to walk through them all. I've been able to focus it lately, but I think that's what you're talking about. Is like you can just hear everybody, and everybody's energy is resonating in your ears, and we're so in tune lately that it's not dangerous, but you have to pay attention to what you're doing when you're out in public because like you'll get distracted and walk into a post. For Christ's sake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, with your sessions, that actually allows me to come back to Fearless Frankie. Have you ever had any interaction with demons that didn't want to be here? Because that was one thing he touched on that I thought was really interesting. Of course, these demons are pissed off because they're being summoned here. They don't want to be here. They didn't come here. They don't want Earth. They don't want to be in this frequency either.
Well, yeah,
Right?
right now the
No.
frequency is really bad for them because we're trying to hire it to rebirth the entire Earth. They ain't going to be able to handle some of that process. I mean, some of them if they want to change, but that's just it. If they don't want to do change and they want to keep doing what they're doing, they'll have to be elsewhere. They won't be able to be here. And from what I get, that's where I think I've been associating with. It's a fine line between dark and light. It's more fine than they think. You can be light and dark. You can be both. In order to learn more and process through it, you have to have a neutral state. You can't just be biased of what someone tells you. You got to learn it and discern through it yourself because what someone might feel is negative might just simply be a grumpy dragon because the season I work with dragons, I'm able to discern to the energy a little better and I'm figuring it out. I mean, right now, my left arm is a little sore because I have a stronger, bigger dragon presence sitting on my shoulder. I have a feeling it's the alpha saying hello, or even the other white dragon, like literally sitting on my shoulder, hanging out, putting a strong energy pressure on me because he's excited.
Yeah.
It's not always a bad entity, and people need to learn to discern through it better. There might be beings helping you that you don't understand.
Yeah.
I've
How
never
much do
come
you run into
across
that?
what?
How much do you run into that in your hypnosis sessions, Maya? Like, because I know, like, even on me, you took off a reptilian attachment out of my throat. So, like,
Right.
is that demonic? Like,
I mean, I was told that there was no such thing as demons. There's no such thing as good and bad, even though we know there is. But the way they look at it on an etheric level, it's like there's got to be polarity. There's going to be positive, negative. They did say everybody carries both in them. And in one of my sessions, we were even getting percentages on people like, well, how much does this person have dark? And I remember I forgot to do that. Like I can do that and ask, and they'll tell you, like, oh, this person's got just a little bit percentage of dark, the rest is all light, but they said that everybody has both. And then they said that what else did they say? They said that I can't, my thoughts went blank right there, but yeah, anyways, it'll come back to me. That was that.
no worries.
I can't keep a thought longer than like 6 seconds.
Yeah. Well, and I noticed too that what we refer to as dark sometimes is just a lower frequency of Earth. It's not even a low frequency to the Earth frequency, if that makes any sense. There's like a total different, separate type of vibration that is actually a higher vibration, but yet it's not. I don't know if that makes any sense. You know how Earth is like 7 point something with its frequency, but higher beings are at a higher frequency. But at the same time, there can also be an in-between frequency for Earth beings. I know it's like a different type of
Right.
energy, basically.
I've
But for
never met, sorry.
well, I learned it because of the person I was with before had what they called red yelm energy. So that must be like an actual Earth energy. I'm thinking like a really strong Earth. That might even be what people refer to as demons. I don't know. That I'm just saying there might be a misunderstanding of energy as all too.
Well, what I was told was that anything 2 and below is going to be of a lower vibration. Now, these dark, nefarious ones do not come from our universe. They came from a different universe. And so when I encounter them, they're not telling me, oh, I didn't want to be here. They're like, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. I like it here. I like this person's body. Matter of fact, I'll stay in this person until I can make them jump off a bridge. They're going to use you up until there's nothing left. And when you have negative thoughts, it's usually them. Sometimes it's ghosts, just lost souls that turn dark, but and they'll cause you harm. But I haven't come across anyone. Hold on. Actually, I started throwing it out there to the universe. I said, attention reptilians, if you are ready to go, like I said to them, the Greys are lying to you. You can overpower the Draconians. You don't have to be controlled. And they're hearing me as I say this right now. And I always tell them, like, when you see me coming, you better pack your bags and run like a refugee. You better come on. Otherwise, you're going to get left behind. And now when they see me, they tell me, we know who you are. We watched your videos. We've been waiting for you. We're ready to go. Can you help us? We got children that need to be saved. They're all for it. The reptilians are all for it. Draconians, they've been kicking and screaming. But since I got Tara to help me, she's a Draconian, they've been going. So I haven't, the Greys put up a fight. I'm still able
to. Is that what you do? Okay. Sorry. I was talking about dragon.
Oh boy.
I got a response from your Draconians.
What happened?
I got a response. Oh, sorry.
That actually lined up again with what Frank was saying about, like, it's like being afraid of a shark because there's one in the ocean. Yeah, there's reptilians here, but we don't have to be afraid of them all the time. Right? Most of them don't be here either.
Don't feed them. Send them love. Love actually hurts them because love is our superpower and it burns them. So if they're in your body, they have to run. That's why when I do sessions, the first thing I do is start flooding people's body with light because they cannot handle it. They have to run. It burns them, I was told. Because my daughter was fighting with her dad, and I'm like, why are they always fighting? And they said it's the aliens inside them. They don't like each other. They're battling each other. So I was like, oh, great. And so I had to, they said, when you hug her and show her love, when she used to have like this monster attitude. And we were like, whoa. And they said, the monster is the reptilian. That she would like lose her shit and would like freak out. And so they would battle each other. Then as an infant, we're talking like 6 to 9 months. And I guess she must have got some attachments. I don't know how she got them, but we were able to get rid of them. But it's crazy. These attachments it's inevitable. You have to shield yourself constantly. You got to clean your chakras. You got to imagine light coming in from the grand central sun, coming in through your body. You have to push that out, clear it, protect them, each one in a bubble of love. Like you got to really go in and like actively contain. Like when I find these reptilians, what do? We encase them in boxes in Metatron's cube.
Yeah.
And then when we did that session, were you with me, Dawn, with Angel Lori? Sorry. Name drop. My girl. In the session, what happened in the session? My mind went blank again.
Yeah.
Why is that happening? I've never had my mind go blank so many times. It'll come back.
I'll use a clean word. It's the buggery.
Right? But do you remember what I was trying to go with that? Because I think you did.
Yeah. She had an interaction with the reptilian and it was actually beneficial and went okay. But yeah, and Ganesh actually helped Spinja get rid of one too, if you remember her first session.
Oh, right. Did he eat it? Or wait, no, he didn't eat it.
No, set him into Metatron, but it was Ganesh that she called upon. It wasn't, it was Ganesh that come in through her.
Oh, right.
Took it to Metatron and put it in the cube.
And then Ganesh. That's your connection too? That's my I said that's her connection to Ganesha. You said Ganesha. I'm
Yeah.
Lord
sorry.
Ganesh.
I murder his name. I'm sorry, but I apologize. That's actually my direct ancestor line too.
Ooh,
Of course.
nice. Ganesh is very powerful. He always comes in when I ask him. Archangel Michael's he's a bit slow, but Ganesh, he's pretty quick. He likes to pop in and he's helpful. When I did a session with someone and they had like implants, he's like, I'm hungry. I'm just going to eat them. And I was like giving him sound effects. I was like, yum, 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 yum.
before we wrap up, I'm going to do it a little different this time. Give you each a couple of minutes if you can just kind of help the audience, because a lot of us don't know. Like, I'm still a noob. I'm doing this from the perspective of a guy with a million questions. So if you guys can we'll start with Maya, maybe 2-3 minutes to some really good solid shielding techniques and energy protection, because like some of us just don't know. Some of us are still, what the fuck is going on? Right. So if you guys have a couple of minutes and some good advice on how to protect yourself out there, because it's something we're all going through and we're getting the crap kicked out of us when we don't know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, basically, it's very simple. I was told 2 times a day, twice a day. It's very crucial, dawn and dusk. And when we say dawn, we mean the twilight hour just before the sun rises. They said that time right before the sunrise, they said get up a little bit early, go and sit in front of like a mirror, not a mirror, a window where you can see the sun coming up if you can't go outside. I think it was like between 4 and 5, and depending on when the sun comes up, right? And then so they said, meditate in that energy because that is very powerful. Those are really strong connection lines. Is that twilight hour to your, higher self ascended masters and whatnot. And then as the sun rises, imagine yourself surrounded, eat that light as it comes up. Imagine yourself eating it, eat it into your body, eat the light. That's how you can help heal yourself as well. And they said, imagine that light just surrounding you in like a bubble of love, golden bubble of love. And I protect myself. I protect my baby, my husband, my cat, my dogs, my phone, my car, my TV. Anything that's electronic is an alien. It's negative alien. And so every time you plug something in, you're harming Earth's natural frequency. The time that we use right now actually harms it. And so that's why it's important to do the 1320 Mayan calendar, because that actually goes with the 28 days cycle, the moon, natural female cycle, right? And so surround your phone, surround your land, just to put bubbles around everything, bubble, bubble, bubble. And that just by doing that, setting the intention, bam, that's all it really takes. Like you can go extra and do this and do that and blah, blah, blah. But if you don't got time, when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I start shielding. I shield and then I go downstairs and I look at the sunlight and I wait. And I wait and I watch that orange. That orange is the natural sun. When it changes to white, that's not the natural sun. That's the other sun. So you want to get that orangey, bright, fiery glow before it hits that white. As it starts to go up, you'll see it change to white. Remember that? You've watched the sunrise. It's like, whoa, the color just changed because there's two suns.
And if anybody wants pictures of them, I got it.
Yes, we got to show that. But that's what I do. And then right before bed, like right before the sun, right as the sun goes down, or is it right before? Right before the sun goes down, you're going to want to put your shields on again, because a lot of dark shit happens at night. Once that sun goes down, all chaos breaks loose. And people who are schizophrenic, like one of my friends, she was saying how at night, people's dark thoughts come out and people don't even know that they have dark thoughts. And I was like, oh, she was a good friend. She actually helped the voices come into my head. The more I hung out with her, the more I heard voices. That girl activated me. And her name was Edith, ironically. I'm like, that's...
Jamie, you're out in the 3D a lot more. How do you shield when you're out and about so much? Like,
well, I'll carry crystals in my pocket. Honestly, I need something to always help me ground, and crystals are an easy to go tool. They're really helpful. And I keep like citrine, and
Yeah.
that uh, keeps away the negative energy or absorbs it or something about it, but that keeps away the negative energy.
I got a
And
citrine necklace too.
yep, and a selenite wand. These are very handy. And if I sense any negative presence, I just hold this and it's gone. It clears out a lot. And if you think about it in an ethereal way, it's like a direct actual energy weapon.
It's an instant energy clearer. It
Yep.
transmutes everything, and it can clean your crystals. It's so powerful.
Oh heck yeah. And I got a bigger one as well.
Right.
And I put that in my windowsill with the rest of my crystals.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got my windowsills lined, and first thing in the usually after I get up and have my coffee, this is pure pink Himalayan salt chunks. I crush one or two up and put them in my bath and cleanse that way as well.
Oh, I wish I had a tub.
You need one, man.
Jealous. I'm about to order one of them little portable ones.
Yeah.
That's pretty handy. That helps clear a lot. The water is definitely a great cleansing tool, and then you add whatever you need to with that bath water. It helps just and frequency music helps too. And I realized I was relying on the frequency stuff too often because then I realized, well, I'm not always going to have my phone, even downloading it. I'm not always going to want my phone because of, yeah, the phone's not a very good thing to use.
Yeah.
It's just an option we're stuck with at the moment. But so that's why I started doing the crystal thing and learning more about tuning the crystals with the frequency instead. And then you just hang on to the crystals. It makes a lot more sense and more portable.
Yeshua told me when you use the crystals for healing to hold them with 3 fingers.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, thank you. Think about it, the power of 3.
Mm-hmm.
In 3s, they said. It's like that's the like direct connection. Power of 3.
And that's I just recently had a reading done where that's all she talked about was the power of 3. The power of 3 is powerful for us.
Yeah. Kyle,
That's why I like
3
times 3 times 3 shall it be. Yeah, it be.
All right, ladies, this has been incredibly informative. And like I don't think I could ask for 2 more intuitive people to join me. It kind of was disappointing that Spinge got taken out by the energy blast, but you know, when you live between realms, shit happens, right?
Yeah.
So Maya, we'll go to you. Do you want to tell people where to find you, about your radio show, your YouTube, and your website?
Well, if they go to my website, it'll take them everywhere. SOSQHT.com. You can find there's a spot there if you want to be a guest on my radio show. You can send me a message through there. You can check out my YouTube videos. I got some transcripts of sessions that aren't on my YouTube channel, so you can read them. One of them is really cool. We went to Mars in the 43rd dimension after Earth had been destroyed. So you might want to check that one out. That was interesting. It kind of talked, and I don't want to give it away. Just check that one out. You can read it. You can read it really fast. You know, it was like whoop, speed read. But yeah, that's a good place. You know, go to my website, check it out. And there, if you want to join the Cosmic Crusaders crew, Dawn and Spinja and Lori are my new cadets. So, you know, I'm offering anybody who wants to join us and go on missions and travel the universe and get information to come join our team before we get up to 5 people. Because once I do 5 people, then people are going to have to pay to get in our session. So right now, I think we got 3. There's still room for 2 more seats.
Yeah.
And Dawn, what is your title? You remember?
Chief engineer.
Yeah. And what's Spinja's title?
Chronologist.
Knowledge
because
is
I can remember a timeline like a mother.
I forgot what Angel Lori's is. Do you remember what hers is?
Chief Information Officer.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so Angel Wings, I know you've done a session with us before. You could always think about it, We'd love to have you and your dragons. And Dawn, did you see any dragons yet in your session?
I haven't seen any yet, but it's really interesting because Jamie did a reading for me and pulled Gabriel with the white dragon.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if the white dragon is Spinja.
Would not surprise me.
But that's me. Thank you, everybody, for all the love.
Yeah. Jamie, do you want to tell them where they can find you?
Oh, well, I have a YouTube, Angel Wings. I can't remember the exact thing. It was just Angel Wings, I think something 5'2", and I'm also on Facebook as JB Jacobson. You can find me. I'm pretty easy to find.
Yeah. So this little career change where I've decided to work for myself and Maya has made me reconsider my views on social media, if not just strictly for business. So I am back on Facebook. I also have a YouTube channel, Don Rogers 78. And on Rumble, it is March 4th Productions, and that's the number 4 with TH after, not the word. Thank you guys for joining me this weekend. This has been amazing. See you next week, everybody.
Bye. Blessings and love.
Oh, best part of waking up. Typical Skeptic coffee cup. Warning, drinking from this cup may wake you up. Further ascension, not guaranteed. Don't forget to stop by the Typical Skeptic merchandise store to get this coffee cup and much, much more. Link in the description below.